Let's talk for a minute about what social media is used for. People use social media for a lot of different things, and you and I are probably most familiar with it from a marketing perspective, or we're trying to learn how to use it as an effective marketing tool. And in fact, the information we just covered talks about how we can build an audience of people, deliver some headlines into that audience, to pull those people into our library and educate them more on our products and services, hopefully to pull them to a call to action where we generate some revenue. Let's talk for a minute about Pepsi and what they did with a program that's called the Pepsi Refresh Project, which is totally different than anything anybody else has done. And it's kind of explained in their little subline here. Thousands of ideas, millions in grants. Here's what Pepsi said: instead of putting all of our millions of dollars into Super Bowl advertising in January of 2010, we're going to dedicate $1.3 million each month for the entire year of 2010. We're going to spend this only in the United States. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up a program where people can submit their own ideas, and then people vote on those ideas. Nothing coming from Pepsi, all of it coming from Pepsi's audience. The ideas come from the audience, and the votes come from the audience. So most people use social media for conversation, customer service, product introductions. We're all tied up in audience building and friending and liking. We talk all the time about building trust and reinforcing our reputation and influencing people's decisions, and all while we're tied up in that noise, Pepsi is talking about generous branding. That's their whole concept. And ultimately, generous branding equals legacy impact, long-term, powerful impact. Let me run one real quick scenario by you, and this is one that I followed. A neighborhood association. Hey, let me say this as well. Pepsi has not limited these grant monies to any specific type of organization. An individual, a company, an association, a neighborhood association, anybody can submit for grant funds. So a neighborhood association submits a grant need for $50,000, and they indicate that they have this land near their neighborhood or near their subdivision, and they have a need or a desire to put baseball fields into that land. And they need this $50,000 because they need some landscaping and some dirt and scoreboards and fencing and lighting and that kind of thing. Now let me just run you through a real quick side note here. I want you to go with me through this picture and tell me that picture plus this picture plus this picture, and do we all notice that there's something in common?
Pepsi and Dr. Pepper logos.
Pepsi advertising on the billboard, on the scoreboard in a baseball stadium. Okay, I'm not involved in the contractual relationship between this neighborhood association and Pepsi, but I'm going to just guess that when Pepsi provided this $50,000 to this neighborhood association, there was a piece of the agreement that said, when you erect that scoreboard, you need to put a Pepsi logo on that scoreboard. Now you tell me how many people over years and years and years to come are going to attend a softball or a baseball game in one of those ball fields in that neighborhood, look at that scoreboard, and get the impression of that Pepsi logo in their mind. The value of that legacy long-term is enormous for only $50,000. There are other values. I mean, the long-term brand recognition for all of their projects. This particular baseball thing obviously is one. Philanthropic association. They're now known as someone who gives and is generous. And unprecedented customer engagement. I mean, the number of people who have signed up for this Pepsi Refresh Everything deal and are submitting ideas and are voting on ideas, and the dollars and cents that are coming out is unprecedented. And probably even a more important component is that Pepsi is no longer, in this particular project, recognized as an advertiser. They're now recognized as a generous brand. I'd encourage you to go to refresheverything.com. These are the categories that you can submit a grant request to. And just understand and know that that's a very unique use of social media that is totally different than anything that we have talked about, anything that we have learned about, anything that we as a company currently provide for our clients. It's just a very interesting use of social media.